same.
So would you marry an African woman?
I'm doing it because I'm that old.
You look very young.
Thank you very much. Now you make me blush. I'm blushing now. But anyway, yes, to me they are total headaches. And the problem why they are total headaches is because the police is not doing their job. If the police were to be there doing their job, this would never happen. And if I compare this now with any beach around the world, this is now the negative part. Kenya is the worst in terms of the many African women are looking to find a white man. And whether you believe it or not, I was only in all my trip here with one person. But the looks I get, and I'm not the most attractive guy, I would say, the looks I get from other African women is not because I look that great, and I'm also no more 22. They see in me three things: ATM, ATM, ATM. And I understand this, they want to come out of poverty.
Yeah.
So this was sort of almost like extreme case, even compared to Thailand or to the Philippines or to Vietnam. This was pretty shocking for me to see that. Then maybe.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I just woke up and guys, we are going international. I have an interview with a European billionaire. Who did I just say that? Yes, I have an interview and I'm going to ask him about his experience in Kenya, especially his experience with African women. That's my major question. Let's see whether he will answer this question or he will just ignore it. Okay, but yes guys, let's go international for the first time. I'll have this one-on-one encounter with him. I haven't even had breakfast. I just want to do the interview first. Guys, please keep watching my videos. I can see a very positive growth in my channel, and let's just go straight to what brought me here, the interview. Guys, I'm so excited and I'm also so shy to ask some questions. Guys, let's go. I always try to have a one-on-one encounter with a European, like on my channel, but my efforts bore no fruits. Okay, like I follow many YouTubers from other countries, and when they're visiting Kenya, I'm in their DMs, hey, can I meet you? They blue tick me and stuff. But this is my first encounter, and guys, we are going international, and I'm so excited and I'm so pretty today. Guys, let's go quick into what brought me here. Tune in and listen to his thoughts about Kenya. Okay. I'm so excited and I'm so shy to ask about such stuff. I've never been like seated down with, I don't know how I feel really. I'm just so, I don't know. Let's just hop right in. I'll have breakfast later. First things first, guys, I bring you the content, I bring you the, and I know Europeans are the most honest people, so he won't lie about anything he experienced. He'll be so detailed, but he might skip some questions. I don't know. Let's see, guys. Let's hop right in. I'm so excited. Guys, I'm seated here waiting for him as I go through the questions that I wrote down. Let's see, out of 10, rate my interviewing skills. I wrote them on my notes, and yeah, let's see how this goes, guys. Yeah, let's see. I don't know if he wants his face on the video. If he doesn't, I'll just capture his voice. I just need to ask and see, but you know, you still have to respect people's boundaries. Hi guys, here we are. So hi, welcome to my channel. How many countries have you been to again?
I think I traveled in about 55 countries.
55 countries. And what do you think about Kenya?
It's an amazing, beautiful country.
Did you have any concerns about your security and safety in Kenya?
No, not really. First I was a little bit afraid, but no, not really.
Not really. Okay. Did you have any encounters with wildlife?
Yes, I did. Amazing experiences.
What was your expectations before you came to Kenya?
I was hoping to see, maybe a lion or a giraffe, but what I saw was way beyond my expectation. And having traveled, as mentioned before, more than 55 countries, in some countries I have been several times, this is the best experience in my life ever.
Oh, and did anything surprise you about Kenya that you did not expect?
That's a good question. I'm white, and I always was a bit apprehensive to be among so many black Africans.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed how hospitable and friendly they are, and I feel totally at home here.
Could you describe the people you encountered in Kenya?
I met some very, very interesting people, some very beautiful people, but also I mentioned what I saw is because people are so poor, that because I'm white, that they're trying in different ways to get money out of me, whether it's a vendor or a taxi. You just pay if you're white. They try to get 3 or 4 or 5 times more money out of you.
Okay. What are some of the highlights of your trip to Kenya?
Definitely, I'm a photographer. The national parks are absolutely totally amazing. If I think of Masai Mara, I went through 6 or 7 different national parks. They're all great, but Masai Mara totally stands out. That's one aspect. Then the beaches. I've been in different beaches around the world, starting, let's say, from Hawaii to Samoa, to Fiji, to New Hebrides, Philippines, Thailand, and some others, I guess, Greece. And I would say the Diani beach, which I saw, the sand, it's absolutely stunning, beautiful, and it's also clean. So it's one of the nicest beaches I've ever been. Maybe there is another beach called Isle of Pines in the South Pacific, but it's a very small island. So if I were to ask myself what's the number 1 beach in the world as a beach, I would say Diani Beach.
Ooh, that's interesting. I think so too. But did you face any challenges or difficulties during your safaris?
Yes, there are difficulties in the sense is having done a number of full day trips versus in a safari vehicle.
Yeah.
Compared to 2 hours safari, a 1 hour, a full day, 1 hour, it's quite hard on the body because it's not a highway, Masai Mara, it's a bumpy road and it's very tiresome. And so what I recommend is, looking back now, is to do only 2-hour trips when you are there, and then enjoy and get some rest in the hotel and go in another day. Yes, it's a bit expensive because you pay each time entrance fee. And then also a highlight was, also again in Masai Mara, was the balloon ride. It's not really inexpensive, but you can book by yourself instead with a tour guide. And it's one of the best experiences to see also the nature there from a totally different perspective.
Okay. Did you have a chance to learn about Kenya politics and history?
Well, with politics, yes and no.
Yeah.
What unfortunately I must say is I compare, let's say, and I'm not sure whole Africa, but if I compare now, let's say the politics, I'm born in Switzerland and I live in Canada. I have 3 nationalities, Principality of Lietchtenstein, Swiss and Canadian. But what totally shocks me here is in different ways without going to detail, and I wasn't surprised, I read this already before, an absolutely total corruption, a corrupt politics, and that's the sad part. And it trickles down to the people. It starts from the bottom and it trickles down. It's maybe a saying, the fish starts to rot from the head, and that's what happened here. That's the sad part.
Okay. Do you have any specific cultural traditions or customs that you found particularly interesting or unique in Kenya?
Cultural traditions? No, not really. I mean, okay. I mean, you have the Muslims here as a religion. You have Christians here. The beauty is what I saw so far is they live peacefully together, unlike in some other countries. Also, my mom was a Catholic from Principality of Lietchtenstein. My grandmother thought she would go to hell when she married my father, who is a Protestant. And here it seems to be so peaceful. And also what's interesting is here the Kenyans, they go to church every Sunday. That used to be in Switzerland and Canada some years ago. So maybe that's a good thing. But then I don't know how corrupt the church is. That's not for me to decide or to evaluate. But an interesting other aspect was the Maasais, the way of life of the Maasai. And it's very, very interesting. And I enjoyed it and I want to visit them again.
Wow. We were on a short commercial break. So, how do you find the cost of living and prices in Kenya compared to Europe?
It's much, much cheaper and shockingly cheaper. Also, if I compare it to Canada, there is something which bothers me. I believe very much in equality, and I learned, for instance, that someone who picks tea gets only 100 shilling, correct me if I'm wrong, $1 a day for picking tea a full day. And to me this is unbelievable if I look at the prices, how much we pay for tea for 20 bags. In Canada it might be $5 or $6 for a bag or more. So the inequality of salaries, how much people get, and the difference between the rich and the poor, that's to me shocking.
Yeah, my face ID is not working. Okay. What about the infrastructure in Kenya? The roads, Wi-Fi?
Overall, I mean, I was in Diani, and seems to be what I learned is one of the best places you can go.
Yeah.
Sort of the Hollywood of Kenya. What's shocking for me was the amount of power failure during season. I was there in December, November and December. Power failure sometimes off for 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 hours. Once I remember even 12 hours. The fridge which I had, it would defrost. And so that was shocking. The infrastructure itself, you go with a tuk-tuk to somewhere in a smaller apartment, and even if you have a relative healthy back, you might end up with back pain because the road is not has no asphalt, or how do you call it, tarmac here. So it needs lots of improvement, but now currently I'm with Pauline in Niali. Is this the right name?
Yes, Niali, yeah.
And this is a totally different story. This is pretty much high-end, beautiful buildings, beautiful hotels, beautiful apartments, and I learned from her that she just did one video of the apartment she stays in, and this is comparable to high-end in anywhere in the country, except, and now comes the big exception, a safety issue. So you don't have, on the stairs, you don't have handles to walk, you don't have signs of fire exits, that type of things for emergency. It's way, way behind, but the building itself, it's done in a beautiful, and I encourage you to watch that one.
Thank you. How would you describe the overall climate and weather in Kenya for European?
For European, it's totally okay. I would compare it maybe for something like if you go to Greece in summer, or maybe to Egypt. It's not even as hot as, for instance, Cairo in Egypt. It's around 30 degrees centigrade during the day. If you have a good apartment, you can even in some places you can handle it easily without AC, provided you have different windows and you can keep them open. So the climate is totally, it's great. If you go up to the Masai Mara area, Nairobi, it's cooler, but again it's not cold. Where I live is in Victoria, Canada, and even there it's currently snowing and cold, minus 11 degrees, so I can handle this climate quite well.
Okay. Were there any local dishes or culinary experiences that you really enjoyed?
Local dishes, oh, now comes the different words. The kratzenburi, or I'm not sure.
Kachumbari?
Kratzenburi.
Yes.
It's a dish, a simple dish, but it's delicious with onion and tomatoes, but nicely done by Kenyan master cooks. And Pauline served me one, 2 or 3, absolutely amazing. And then the pilau, or how do you call it?
Pilau? Yeah.
Yeah. And so there are several dishes which I tried. They're good, and overall the kitchen here, maybe as a European, it's very well done. If you compare it now, I don't want to have the Indians, but if you go to India, the food is maybe overloaded with turmeric, or it's too spicy, too hot. Or even if you take Thailand, you have in some places, if you don't ask for less chili, you get in Thailand, and the food is delicious there, you get maybe too chili.
Yeah.
But as a European here in Kenya, you can pretty much eat any food and it's delicious, and it's not over spicy.
Okay. How did you find the local communication and internet connectivity in Kenya?
The internet connectivity, it's in some areas it's relative poor, on and off.
Yeah.
In some area it's excellent, but what you always, where I never had a problem, is over the phone to go with, I don't know whether I can do the commercial Safaricom, is that the one?
Yeah.
So if you don't have a problem, or if you're staying in a hotel, or if you're staying in an apartment and your Wi-Fi is not working, Safaricom, I never had the problem in all the several weeks where I'm staying here with Safaricom to use a data plan, and it's affordable.
Affordable Safaricom, yes, I think so. Were there any specific challenges or issues that you noticed in Kenya that you think could be improved on?
That's for tourists. It's not I don't see any special challenges except overall again is maybe protection, safety. Let's say if you go theft, security, if you go, I mean, what bothers me here, and I understand where it's coming from, if you go to any hotel, if you go to any, you rent an apartment, everything here, but this is also in Indonesia, less so in Thailand, has a big wall around your building and has a security guard, and it's always, if it's not a really nice building, you always feel you go into a prison because you have to sign in to get in, and so it's a challenge. Or if you are, maybe have a problem with the police, I never had a problem with the police, but if you want to deal with the police, you need help. I heard they're not coming, you have to come to see them. So it's a bit different, the safety, the security.
Yeah.
It's, of course, it's not up to standard if you were to compare it with North America or if you were to Europe. This could be better, and police protection in general should be much better.
Okay. How would you compare the hospitality and friendliness of locals in Kenya compared to other countries that you've visited?
I would say the Kenyans are very, very hospitable, and I was afraid. I mean, I live in Victoria, in a white country, majority are whites. I grew up in Switzerland. In my village, everyone is white. I wouldn't even know anyone with a dark skin. And I always fought for equality. That's in my personality. But somewhat I was a bit afraid coming here, being a white guy, how these Africans would treat me, especially if I look how the British Empire or others treated Kenyans when they occupied the country. So you would think that the Africans would have something against white, and it's quite the opposite. Extremely friendly, but also what I noticed is there is a headquarter between Africans, between the haves and the not haves, and that some Africans treat an African fellow more in a racist way or in a class way than between if you are white towards an African. And I saw this in check-ins in a hotel where I was the Musongo, which is the white guy, coming with a photographer who is an African. But they only talk to me because I have a white skin. And this is something which bothers me, and I cannot understand why this is the way it is.
Did you have any opportunities to engage in outdoor activities, sports in Kenya?
Well, I did many outdoor activities, so safari trips, but then also I remember I did one in a place, if I can mention the name, you did a video on Voyager Hotel. I highly recommend this because as an activity it was even free of charge, didn't pay. A tour guide took us out of the hotel gate, and I came as close as 20 meters to a crocodile. Not only to one, I would have been that scared going alone there, wouldn't even have come that close, or close to hippos. And so that's something I never ever forget. And then of course again with one of the safari drives, we were that close to an elephant accidentally, and my heart was racing because the elephant ears popped up. One trunk came, put the trunk up, but I was always, and this is my habit in which I highly recommend you guys, if you go for a trip, you go with a professional guide who knows what he's doing. Don't go alone, don't take chances.
Okay. How would you describe the beauty of Kenya compared to other European destinations?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
You know, I've been pretty much in all European countries
Yeah.
for professional reasons, starting from Sweden, Norway, down to Spain, Portugal, and there are some beautiful places in Europe. But if you look, or if you think, let's say the Bible, and I'm not, my mom, as I said, was a Catholic, my dad was a Protestant. So, but if you think of the Bible and the wildlife and Noah and the story of the wildlife of the elephants and giraffes, if you go into any national park in Kenya, that experience which you can experience in Kenya. I never was in any other African country except Egypt, but I wasn't in Uganda or South Africa. But I'm telling you, from all the countries I saw in terms of wildlife, and I'm mainly a wildlife photographer, so I've seen many, many places. This is by far the best experience in my life. It's no comparison. So if you have the money, and if you have only one trip you should do, and you have the money, skip Europe, go to Kenya for that.
Okay. How has the interactions with Kenyan and African women influenced your understanding about gender dynamics and women's rights in the region?
What I saw overall, but I must stress I was only 5 months in this country, so it's not my view, and I can be totally wrong. Okay? What I saw is that in general, let's say between African woman and a Musungu, a white guy,
Yeah.
is that many African women are looking to find a white man. And whether you believe it or not, I was only in all my trip here with one person. But the looks I get, and I'm not the most attractive guy, I would say, the looks I get from other African women is not because I look that great, and I'm also no more 22. They see in me three things: ATM, ATM, ATM. And I understand this, they want to come out of poverty.
Yeah.
So this was sort of almost like extreme case, even compared to Thailand or to the Philippines
Yeah.
or to Vietnam. This was pretty shocking for me to see that.
Yeah.
Then maybe I would also say in terms of equality, treating women in general equally
Yeah.
to men, of course, Kenya, there is no comparison between Kenya and Canada. In Canada, there is even from legal reasons, you cannot discriminate a woman, and a woman has pretty much, not quite, but pretty much the same chance to make a career and is treated equally here. And my sense is, but that's only my sense, that men are the macho guys here, and the women have to do what the man wants them to do. So that's my overall expression, and that women are treated as maybe women were treated 50 or 100 years ago in Europe. So you are behind, but I'm convinced this will also change like it did in Europe. I remember even my mom was not able to vote in Switzerland because she was a woman. This only changed some years ago.
Yeah.
So there is hope, for sure there is hope.
And would you say that skin determines character? Skin color, does it determine who a person is?
Absolutely, totally not. I've been everywhere in so many countries. I met so many people. There are the good and the bad, and it's pretty much the same mix. And you also have the same thing. People who are, quote, religious, they go to church on Sunday morning, they pray to forgive for their sins, they come out of the church and they do it all over again. And the same thing applies to Muslim or Buddhist. I've been in Iraq, spent quite some time in Iraq, in Kuwait, the Muslim countries. It's the same story. People are people everywhere, whether Chinese, whether Swiss, whether dark skin or white skin, it's all the same.
So would you marry an African woman?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Yes.
Wow, okay. So what initially sparked your interest to visit Kenya? Like, because you told me it was your dream to visit Kenya. What sparked that?
I'm a professional wildlife photographer. I spend lots of time mainly focus on wildlife. I do also some portrait photography, but for me it's the nature, the wildlife. I do this since many, many years. You don't even want to know how many years I'm doing it because I'm that old.
You look very young.
Thank you very much. Now you make me blush. I'm blushing now. But anyway, but then when I started to look up and to see like, and I had this always a dream, like to see a lion or a cheetah or a hippo or a rhino, not in a zoo, in real nature, in a real nature environment. This was always a dream. And then of course, because if you take now Europe, it's a pretty long flight from Europe, but if even a longer flight from Canada, took me about 30 hours from Canada to come here. And of course it's very, very expensive. So you have to have the budget for that. And in my age, when I was very young, I couldn't afford that. But also you can travel now maybe in cheaper ways to save some money, but it's costly, but it's certainly it's
worth it.
Worthwhile, well spent money. The best money I ever spent for nature photography.
Okay, so what cultural aspects of Kenya did you find most intriguing or different from your own background?
That's a very, very different question. I think maybe what's still here and used to be more in Europe at all times, here as a family you stick more together because you have no other choice. And also a woman has to stick together maybe with the husband because she has no other choice.
Yeah.
In Switzerland or in Canada now because people are making more money, female are self-employed, they don't have to stick together with a man if the relation is no more that good. Or the pension aspect, if you are in Switzerland or if you live in Canada, and since I have more than one nationality, I'm fortunate, I get pension. Yes, I'm that old. I get pension from those countries. Here, with your pension, you can't do much if you have any pension.
Yeah.
And so your support system are the family, for the parents are the children, and vice versa. And in Canada or in Switzerland, for instance, your support system, financially, you're not depending on a child, but she or he takes care of you. Financially, you have enough money by the government because you pay in pension.
How would you describe the overall cleanliness of Kenya?
You know, in terms of nature, if I look at the beaches, super clean, the beaches. So, amazingly clean, which surprised me. And then, of course, if you go into a national park, you're not allowed to jump out of your vehicle for safety reasons. It's spotless clean. Hotels, which I spent overall, are also pretty clean. Let's say cleaner than in the Middle East, put it this way.
Did you have any experiences with Swahili language?
Oh, I should learn it.
Yeah.
I only know a few words. I should learn
Tell
more.
us.
But I want to come back. Definitely again for wildlife safari. Sometimes next year. And because the weather, when it's in Canada in winter cold, currently now in Victoria, to be here 5 or 6 months to do wildlife photography, and currently I'm in Diani, and from my place out I see the beach. It's beautiful. So yeah, I want to come back.
Okay. So what are the words that you've learned in Swahili? You said you learned Swahili.
Yeah.
What are some of the words apart from kachumbari?
M-Pesa, that means you need a bank account and you have to pay. But even I don't know how to use it really.
Jambo.
Jumbo. And I forgot. You see, I'm not a cook, but I start learning it.
Karibu.
Karibu.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's the end of my questions. I had written them down and I feel like I'm repeating myself. So what would you advise a young girl out there who's trying to build her life, start her career?
For a Kenyan young girl,
Yes.
the most important thing is education, education, education. And this is basically, even you don't have to leave your country. If you have a problem, maybe it's not so easy to get a permit in America or in Canada or in Switzerland. But in IT, as an example, you have opportunity to work here now with the new technology. The key is, if you're fortunate and you have the mental capacity to learn, make a huge effort to work hard. And you parents, make sure to support your children, especially the girls, as much as possible, that they get the proper education. I know, for instance, here in Kenya is the Aga Khan Foundation. It's a Muslim foundation, and you would think in general that Muslims, they all hide the women behind a black thing and they should work only at home. Very different with Aga Khan. I know them quite well. Also, I'm not an Aga Khan member. There, Aga Khan says the female should have the best education, even the better education than the boys. Why? Because the females are the ones who are educating the children. So the most important thing as a parent or as a young female is learn, work very hard, then nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. My major issue that I've had white people complaining about that I've interacted with is the beach boys. Have you experienced any harassment from beach boys in Mombasa, Diani, or any beach you visited?
They are to me they are total headaches. And the problem why they are total headaches is because the police is not doing their job. If the police were to be there doing their job, this would never happen. And if I compare this now with any beach around the world, this is now the negative part. Kenya is the worst in terms of the beach boys.
Yeah.
Because they harass you in different ways, and if you're not strong, it's a total headache.
Do you think there's private beaches in Kenya?
Well, some hotels have private beaches, and of course also some apartments have private beaches. But then what's bothersome is it's almost like a prison again because it's a private beach.
Yeah. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. And I think you're quite knowledgeable.
You're welcome, and I wish you all the very best in your venture. And I'm sure if you guys who watch this put all the subscribe button and tell it to your friends, then my dear friend Pauline will get more and more subscribers and eventually monetized. I wish you all the best, Pauline.
Thank you. Bye guys. Thanks for watching the video to this point, and I hope you learned one and a few things from a direct encounter with a European man. And I think everything he said is true and agreeable. And yeah, we can learn from this video and try to work on the stuff that we can control. Some of them are beyond our control anyway. Thank you and have a nice day or night from wherever you're watching from and whatever time you'll be watching. Bye guys, I love you all. Karibu sana.